joining us for our August 26th meeting, our final meeting of the Georgia CAB. So it's great to share all this space with you guys again. As always, this event is being recorded for future use. It will be uploaded for YouTube for those who couldn't make it to make up the attendance for this meeting. Oh, sorry guys, I'm a little flustered. To make up attendance for this meeting. So yeah, I've already started recording and everything. So I'll pass it off to Michaela and she'll just review our group agreements real quickly.
Just as a reminder, hey everybody, hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. So just as a reminder, these are the group agreements that we agreed upon back in January. Come as you are, asking questions, sharing perspectives, having mutual respect, etc. So if we agree on these still, please give a thumbs up. And or if you want to add anything or take anything away, please let us know. Okay, and we will go ahead and go to the next slide. Do you want me to do this too, Christian?
You can, yeah, if you want.
Okay, that's fine. So this is just our agenda for the day. So we're gonna have, as we know, we're doing the quick welcome now. We're gonna go through assignment results. We're gonna do a fun Padlet activity with some reflection and appreciation since this is our last meeting. We're gonna talk a little bit about some state updates and then closing next steps.
All right, thanks so much, Michaela. So I'm going to go through results from assignment 8 and 9. The first assignment you completed was assignment 8, and that was the CAB Interest Resources and Toolkit. And so this will just be kind of brief. We asked what issues and topics you were most passionate about. And so here's kind of those answers from the SurveyMonkey. Racial equity and justice was up there, and so was access to healthy food as well as access to healthcare. We asked you what kind of leadership roles would you be interested in exploring? And again, we love this being a part of a planning or an advisory group because this is an advisory board. So I love to see that you guys are still interested in engaging with your communities this way. And then we also had helping plan events and programs, connecting neighbors to resources, as well as sharing feedback at public meetings was another one. And then we said, which meetings in your local community are you interested in attending? And a lot of you guys said healthy community initiatives, which is great. And then we asked, what resources are you most interested in? And so this was kind of like a level playing field. Not so much community events, but like advocacy efforts, social media, grant funding opportunities, and newsletters. So those are the type of resources you guys are interested in. Nobody answered other and had a suggestion for another resource. So that's why there's nothing there. And so we asked you 2 questions. Do you know what public health district you live in? 4 of you said yes, 1 of you said no, and 4 of you would like to know what public health district you live in, so we could look up that information for you and get you that information. And then we also asked, if the CAB ever reconvenes, would you like to be contacted? And 10 of you said yes. No one actually answered no. Somebody skipped the question. So we had 11 CAB members complete this survey. And then we also asked, what would make a community engagement toolkit and make a community engagement toolkit and make it inspiring for you? And you guys had really great things to say, like diversity, and including geographic aspects and cultural aspects, incorporating Spanish. Filipinos are the second largest API community in the United States, and there's about 60 Filipinos who reside in the state of Georgia. I never knew that, so this was really cool information for me to learn. And that's from the US Census. And so then we had somebody else list a bunch of resources, which I can share in an email to you guys if you guys are interested in receiving these resources directly. I can turn them into all hyperlinks for you guys. And then we also had providing information and resources to people that can hear about virtually and in person, engagement and diversity. And I do a national and state work for parent leadership, and this is a great addition to the parent leadership toolkit that I helped develop for the Alliance National Parent Partnership Committee. This is to share with all children, with all state children trusts. This is a great empowerment tool, which is awesome. So this is cool. Yes, 60,000 Filipinos. Did I say that wrong? I apologize. I did not mean to say that wrong. So let me kind of go back. So we are preparing this toolkit for you guys to use as a resource. It'll be coming towards the end of the year. But we wanted to incorporate your guys' interests into that toolkit. So you guys can continue to do community-led work, in your own areas. And so we're also kind of waiting on some other stuff from IAs and our other partnerships that we have to go into this toolkit. So hopefully this will be being shared with you all towards the end of the year, but that's kind of where we're at for that. So thank you guys for your feedback on that. It was really interesting to see what you guys are looking forward to in staying connected in your communities. Does anybody have any questions or anything before I move on? Okay. I'm not hearing anything. So we're going to go to assignment 9. I do apologize. You're going to listen to me talk for a minute. This one was the IA outreach feedback materials for UGA. And so the first section was the social marketing infographic. We asked you if it was clear and easy to understand. And it was half and half on this. Some of you said it was somewhat clear and some of you said it was very clear. So that was interesting. And then some of the feedback that you guys had, was about the layout, that it flows really well and each section is clearly labeled. Do you like the use of colors and icons and numbers? It made the information easy to digest. It's clear what the campaign did and what the outcomes were. That the numbers were impressive, but they could be difficult for a layperson to understand without explanation. i.e. impression and reach. So it sounds like, doing some more kind of like defining of what these words are for the average person looking at this infographic. And then we asked if there was any additional information. And like we said here, to briefly explain what reach and impressions mean. And then, yes, the social marketing food talk campaign and social marketing drink water Georgia campaign do not describe where the impressions and reach are from or at. And then I want to say, I hope I do not say this wrong, providing in Spanish and Tagalog. I hope I'm saying that right. Someone correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Would be awesome. Providing images of more diverse populations is always more inclusive and reach more viewers. Did anybody have any questions or comments about the social marketing infographic? No? Okay, thanks guys for your feedback. And then the next was the farmer's market. We asked if the language and reading level was easy to understand. 5 of you said yes. 2 of you said somewhat. And then we asked, do the visuals feel appropriate and inclusive? 5 of you said yes, and 1 of you said no. And then we asked what improvements could be made. So small changes, consider adjusting the font size larger for easier readability on mobile, and also labeling the difference between the 2 campaign sections, Food Talk versus Drink Water Georgia. Colored borders could improve quick visual separation. That's a really good idea. I like that because it's not something I thought about when I was looking at the infographic initially. So I thought that was pretty interesting feedback. Providing Spanish Tagalog would be awesome. And more clarity on how numbers drive impact also might be helpful to note whether the content is or was available for organizations to download, brand, or if it is evergreen. So for the DWG infographic, we asked if it was clear and easy to understand. 5 said clear, very clear, and 2 said somewhat clear. And then the feedback for the clarity of this infographic, It's bright, well organized, and straight to the point. The visuals clearly match the data, and the color coded sections make it easy to follow. It's effective for both quick glances and a deeper review. Yeah, there's kind of like a general consensus that this is colorful. So I like that you guys all picked up on that, and the images were really great. Is there any additional information needed? More colorful images and visuals of diverse communities would be more inclusive and attractive to communities. And again, the Spanish Tagalog. Can somebody tell me what that is? Because I don't know what that is.
It's Tagalog.
Okay.
You say Tagalog.
Say it again one more time for me.
Yeah, say it again.
Tagalog.
Tagalog. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling I was saying it wrong. I was like, I'm totally saying this wrong. I'm not saying it right. Okay. I know I'm not gonna be able to say that beautiful solely, so I'm gonna have to practice that one later. And it might be helpful to include a brief description of programs, goals, and target audience, especially for someone unfamiliar with SnapEd. I think that's really great feedback too. For the UGA Foodie Talk infographic, we asked if the language and reading level was easy to understand. 5 said yes, very easy. 2 said somewhat easy. We asked if the visuals and images felt appropriate and inclusive. 5 said yes, and 2 said no. And then again, we asked you, do you have any other reactions to the infographic? Some of you thought it was super engaging and easy to digest. They like the mix of data and testimonials. It adds a human touch. A QR code or link to get involved to learn more would boost interaction. Someone felt like they were missing some context. They don't understand what questions were asked to comprehend the responses fully. Sure, they can infer that participants were asked about eating or purchasing more fruits and veggies, but what was the question? Did it relate to farmers markets, or was it very general? Which I think that's really good feedback. Like, where are we buying fruits and veggies? Are you going to the store, or are you going to a farmer's market? So I think that delineation, that's a pretty good point to make. And then always, as always, I advocate on behalf of the immigrant communities who speak little or no English. Again, the Filipino community is the second largest API community in the United States, and there are about 60,000 who currently reside in the United States. So, and then we had the UGA BU infographic. We asked if the language and reading level was easy to understand. 6 of you said yes, and 1 of you said no. It was somewhat easy, not no. So we got 6 yes, very easy, and 1 somewhat easy. And then we asked, what feedback do you have about the clarity? Again, people felt like it was clear and colorful, well organized. Each section was easy to follow with a good balance of visuals and data. They felt like the icons explained the campaign's purpose and outcomes without needing extra explanation. Again, graphically pleasing. And then we did get a couple of comments on the flavor your water portion. It should be larger. I strongly emphasize this because many different demographics do not drink enough water. The flavor your water piece is critical because it may encourage more communities to try it, hence consuming much more water instead of sugary sodas, juices, and beverages. So that's all really great feedback. Is there any additional information needed? You guys felt like there should be references added to the quotes. Again, enlarge the flavor your water section. And then translate in Spanish, and then provide at least one diverse community image or photo. And then someone thought it might be helpful to include the campaign's target demographic. So I thought that was really good feedback too. Okay.
And
So then we
Christian,
had,
can I just make a
yes.
quick
Yeah,
comment
go ahead.
too? And I think we've like covered this in the past meetings as well with the other agencies. All of these infographics and everything that you guys see are all available in Spanish as well. I do see that's a consistent comment and feedback that we get from you guys a lot, but I do want to note all of these are all available in Spanish. When it comes to other languages, we are able to get anything and everything translated into any language across the world. Really, we use a contractor within DHS that does translation for us. So if there is something else that is needed, we're able to get that too. So I just want to put that little tidbit in there too. I am going to bring this back to them. We just didn't provide you guys with the Spanish versions of things because just would have been more things to review, and not everybody in the cab speaks Spanish either, so we didn't want anybody to be confused on what they were actually reading or anything like that too. So just wanted to
So I
point
wanted
that
to interject. If we wanted to get some material in another language, how would we go about doing that?
out. For us, for cab members, do you mean for cab members?
I mean, I would be the one asking to be specific.
So we'd have to work with the implementing agency, and there would have to be a need for it because it does cost money for us to get things translated, and it would have to be within their budget. Make sure you came off mute if you want to.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. Soledad, are you asking just for reference, like to see what is already like to access materials that have already been translated, or are you asking for materials to be translated for a specific need that you think might not already be translated?
Well, I mean, I just rarely ever see anything in Tagalog, and like I said, there's a large demographic of Filipinos in the state of Georgia, even though it's not addressed or acknowledged. So I was just curious since Michaela just said everything can be translated in whatever language. So I was just curious how that works, what the process is.
Yeah, so usually the way it works with translation services and things like that is usually there is a need from the community. So usually if UGA is teaching a class or targeting a specific audience, like for any agency, I shouldn't just say just UGA, that's just top of mind. There's usually a demand for it from a partner site that they work with, usually, and they'll say, hey, we need these. For example, we had an agency that was working with a organization in I think Clarkston, and they only spoke Vietnamese. No, like everybody they served only spoke Vietnamese, so they had to get their entire like curriculum and everything translated into Vietnamese for those specific participants. Usually, when we just do English and Spanish, but if there is a need in the community and they're serving that community, then they will get that translated into additional languages as well.
So does it have to be a government agency or like an educational, institution in order to request that? Because I belong to a nationwide, or actually it's global, but it's a nationwide organization called Malaya, which is specifically to support the Filipino community, here and abroad.
So usually to use our specific translation services, it would have to be contractors that work with us specifically. So it wouldn't just anybody could. It would be UGA would be requesting that from us. DPH would be requesting it to us. It can't just be a one-off sort of situation. It's usually because there's
It
been
has to be
multiple
a government
requests.
agency, is what you're saying. It has to be government. Okay.
Or
I got
government
it.
contracts.
Government contracted
A lot of
agency.
agencies get federal funding or
Yeah.
state funding. And so what I was going to add to that, Soledad, and maybe this is just like as a community connector to others within your community or through your organization to help encourage people to speak up for themselves. Often, like agencies have those funds available and the resources available, like Michaela's talking about. But if it's not an express need from the community, they don't use it. So I worked with a group in Michigan that they spoke Bangladesh. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but it was like hindsight. It was like, why aren't you translating everything? Translate everything. And so I think often people are just not thinking about how that could benefit the community. So I would encourage those that you work with and those that you're around or yourself in a connector role to be advocating for that and ask if those resources are available the same way you are now, but in other settings as well.
Yeah, I would say like reaching out directly to the agencies that you're like looking at. So for example, with these, I would recommend reaching out directly through UGA's website and say, hey, could I have these available in this language? Could I have them? Do you have them already available? Because they could. It just, I might not be aware of it because I don't work for them. I work with them, but I don't work for them. So they could have other things that are available that I'm not privy to as well. But like Mitra said, being an advocate in your own community as well is very, very, very important. So sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we live in our bubbles and we're like, okay, English and Spanish, that's what we're going to put out. And when there's other needs within the communities too. So making your voice heard here, and I'm going to share all this stuff with the agencies as well. So they'll see y'all's feedback.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't remember if I said this slide, so I'm going to repeat myself for the SNAP Ed KIEM PAC reports. We asked again if the language and reading level was easy to understand. Yes, 6 said yes, very easy. Somewhat easy. One person said it was somewhat easy. We asked if the visuals and images used in the material felt appropriate and inclusive. 4 of you said yes, and 3 said somewhat. And then we asked again, is there any additional information needed? You guys liked the layout, how it was broke down by approach and results. It made it easy to follow. The testimonials were a nice touch. And then they would just say if there was a way to include where folks could sign up or get involved, that would be helpful. But overall, it's clear and to the point. Someone else said they had nothing more than what was presented. And clearly, you know, there's a lack of representation for the Filipino community in Georgia. So we need to figure out how we're going to meet that need. Oh, and that was it. Does anyone have any questions or comments about assignments 8 and 9? There will be a little bit of follow-up. I know this is our last meeting, but there will be a little bit of follow-up coming through the, you know, through the end of the year and through September. But this is our last in-person meeting together. So
I would just say for assignments 8 and 9, there's a course through UGA as well as Georgia Voices where we go through kind of like what you did and asking people to give their input and their feedback about flyers and stuff like that. So if that's something that you that your organization hasn't taken advantage of, it's a very great course, and it shows you how to collect that information as well as the impact of the data and how things are situated on there. But it's through UGA has a part with that too.
Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. We could probably find that on their website and share with the group.
I put it on there when I did 8 and 9.
Okay.
I put specifically in like the link to.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I can turn those into hyperlinks then and share with the group. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Samantha. I appreciate that. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Mitra, who's going to lead our next activity.
Yeah. Hi everyone. As Christian said, this is our final CAB meeting. And so we wanted to, you know, go ahead and do an activity that allowed us to just share a little bit about our experiences, you know, what will carry forward with us from this work. It's a little bit of a reflection activity. Want to just encourage you guys to, you know, actively engage with me. There's a scan, there's a QR code on the screen if you want to scan, if that's your preferred way to engage. Or I think we'll be dropping the link in the chat too. Do you have that, Christian? So we'll drop the link in the chat if that's easier. Also, I like this group because you'll come off mute and talk with us. You can also come off mute and share your perspectives if you want. Let's go to the next slide. I'll bring the QR code back up in a moment. But I want to just kind of give us a couple of prompts to talk through with this conversation today. You know, for me, it's it's hard. It's a little bittersweet, I guess, is the best reflection, because I've worked hand in hand with Michaela and Christian over the past 3 years to build this committee, and many of you have been involved for many years, and seeing how much we've been able to accomplish together. So it's nice to be able to reflect. Let's go one more slide forward. The reflection questions, I have a couple of reflection questions here for us to think about. Don't want you to feel like you have to answer all of them, but this is a space where you can speak to what speaks to you. What was your favorite memory of being engaged with the CAP? What were some of the unexpected outcomes that helped to shape this work? Or how has this project, from your perspective, helped to strengthen capacity? Strengthen capacity and support health and nutrition and well-being. The final reflection question is, what parts of the project incorporated community voice, culture, perspective? We just wanted to leave space for you to reflect on how this project actually played out, and what you felt like was most impactful. So if you've got another thing to share that's not in those bullet points, it's all welcome. We'll go one slide forward and take us to the Padlet. So again, you can scan this QR code to go to the Padlet and share those perspectives. But I also want to just encourage you to come off mute. Anything come to mind in reflection of being involved in this CAB that you want to share with your peers?
I will go
Samantha?
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you sure?
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, first of all, it was very, very tedious. Okay, but I would definitely say it bridged the gap between some of the work I did as a AmeriCorps Food Corps service member in looking at health and wellness, and particularly in a rural area, the things that are needed in the communities that have food deserts, the resources, being able to look at resources that are not available in my community and then put in an ask. But then it's full circle, because now that I am a school board representative in my community, there are things that directly impact students, community, and families of students that go to school, and bridging the gap between what does that conversation actually look like, and instead of just being a person that speaks about what needs to happen, actually being in a position to make those changes happen and see it through to the end. So I would say this is a great piece that has bridged the connection in the work that I've been doing over the course of years.
Awesome. Really good to hear. And from your vantage point, I can see those connections. Thank you for sharing, Samantha. Tamika, were you coming off mute?
Yes. I've been in this for 3 years and I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I just think of I've really enjoyed the project when we had to come up with like initiative and just coming up with the healthy life choices with fitness, the one that I was able to come up with, and just to see it made it to the next round. I was very appreciative of that. And I just kind of feel like it empowered me to sit at the table, to be able to make decisions to help our community, to think of, okay, well, this is what they do. They think of different initiatives and they sit at the table and they come together as a group to make our community better. So I really appreciate it. I'm gonna miss it as well. And I'm very open whenever you guys started back up. So yes, I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing that, Tamika.
Yes.
One of my highlights too. I haven't had another group that's been able to do that. And so that's a really unique accomplishment of this committee. Other thoughts, just what stands out to you?
I
Miriam?
mean, yeah, I was gonna say because like I know I'll be going to work, but I feel the same way. Like it helped bridge a lot of gaps for me too. With the work that I do in the community, so it kind of brought a lot of things together. Just kind of tied everything together. But I had definitely enjoyed being in this group, a part of this group. I'm gonna forever hold on to all the things that I've learned. Um, it's just been a great experience. And just knowing that, being on this side of things and, being a voice, being an advocate, putting in the work and, just making a difference. So I appreciate, the opportunity. I'm still going to be here. I think I put on the Padlet that, the work will still go on. It's just, in a different way. But I just appreciate all the opportunity, everything that we've learned, for all you guys, for everybody. So I just thank you all so much. I'm already sniffing because I'm like, I've been a little under the weather and I don't know whether it's this building, but I don't know what's happening, but like my allergies is acting up real bad. And the fact that I have to go to work to my other job, but I'm going to go and knock these hours out and be done. And just wanted to, just say that, but the work will go on. So regardless, it just in a different way. So thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely. And Soledad, we saw your comments. I'm going to read yours just from the chat. Solly shared, I appreciate knowing areas or programs throughout the state of and Atlanta that provide each outreach and education to better serve marginalized and underserved communities who are traditionally little or no, who have traditionally little or no voice. I also appreciate the opportunity to be the voice for Filipino community and immigrants who speak little or no English. And absolutely, we appreciate having you there for that and elevating that. I think that's another highlight that I'll share as a facilitator. We facilitate this type of work in 3 states, okay? And we've been doing it for multiple years. I'm gonna tell you right now, Georgia don't hold no punches. I love it. We come, you guys have great questions. You call us on the details. You're standing up for your community in a way that you really need to like recognize is needed and is appreciated. Communities don't always have, we don't, programs don't always have a platform for community members to voice, hey, are you meeting us in all the languages we need? Have you, Jody, I'm thinking of you. Have you reached out to all the partners that would be strategic? I just really appreciate the fact that y'all, keep us on our toes and raise the perspectives that are needed. And that really helps us to make sure this program is meeting the needs of the community. I saw that last. So Samantha shared if you ever put together ambassador groups that are able to set up tables at events, let me know. We'd love to work on that. We're going to talk about some possible, possibilities in the future. If you want to be kept apprised, there's nothing written in stone, but there may be opportunities to engage in the future, and we'll be sure to think of those that want to be included. Absolutely. We'll keep you in mind for that too, Soledad. Other thoughts, stories, questions, or shout outs that come to mind from you all with this work? Trying to see anything added that hasn't been added in the chat.
Mitria.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been driving, so I was trying to get my Zoom to let go, as I finally did when I parked. I can't begin to tell you guys how enriching this entire experience has been, working at both a community level and a state level. I know one of my peers mentioned being an AmeriCorps Food Corps member. I'm also working in the food space through AmeriCorps. But being able to work with our state agencies and have a voice with our state agencies and let them know that we are here and we are paying attention, building better relationships throughout the state, and working on the advocacy issue, since many times we just kind of feel like we're all in our different quarters, and not communicating at the same level or on the same page about these issues. You've brought us all around the table and given us a space to be able to represent voices that are out in our community and let them know, hey, yeah, I brought that up, and yes, hopefully, we'll be able to work through that in the future. Obviously, with all of these budget cuts and all the uncertainty, I think one of the strengths that this has allowed me to represent in my community is saying, listen, the state does know that we're still here, that we are actually like working every day, trying to make a difference in our community. And it's given me a lot of faith in our state government, very well represented by all of you. And I know, being a third party vendor, coordinating all of this from afar, you all have done a tremendous job with that. And it's in every way, I've seen a lot of positive use that has come about from doing this SNAP-Ed committee. And it's a shame that at the federal level, they don't recognize that. But thank you all very much for everything that you've done. And it's just been great working with all of you to put our voices together and bring together different ideas. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I think it's funny, maybe TMI, but we've been in meetings this week and last about evaluation this and evaluation that. And I think my heart is really with you all and the communities which you represent. And so hearing that from you really feels good and makes me feel like, even if it may have been a little tedious, Amanda, the work we've been putting in is appreciated by all. And so it's really, I appreciate you sharing that. Soledad added another comment that says, I've served as a church elder for over a decade in one of the poorest areas of Atlanta that is a food desert. This information and resources provided by the CAB is a critical piece and lifeline for families and communities most in need. Yeah, that's powerful, and I'm glad to hear that. And to Jody's point, I'll get a little bit on my pedestal. We can't let the current circumstances and what's coming down stop us from moving these communities forward and connecting community members and those that are in the need the most with resources that we know are available. And that is the point of the toolkit that we're going to be putting together, hoping to put some resources and connections in your hand that would be helpful to continue that work moving forward. I'll hold space again for any final comments or perspectives folks would like to add. I just want to make sure that anybody that has something to add has had the space to. All right.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
I always try to let you guys talk. You guys, I just want to say, you guys are like one of my favorite groups to always meet with. You always challenge me, and I love it. I love the challenge that you guys bring and the advocacy and your tenacity and like your love for your communities and your homes and your people. And it really reminds me of like my own ways in my own tribal community and how we'll like, we go toe to toe, we square up for our own people. And I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys giving me the space to learn on this national project, because it was a little bit of a learning curve for me when I was initially brought on. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and you guys have made me think of access in a completely different way that involves like being urban and in a city, because I'm not in a city and I'm not urban. I'm very rural where I'm at. So I appreciate you guys for pushing me towards that positive growth and thinking in my mind and how people access things differently in different areas. So I will definitely miss you guys so much. And you guys can always email me if you have questions about anything, in the future, but I will miss meeting with you guys monthly and seeing your faces and going on drives with you guys to work, or preparing dinner in the kitchen with you guys. I feel like you guys are like my little family. So, and I always love that, Mitria says, come as you are, and you guys do. And I love it so much.
Yeah.
So, Manahobu, thank you. And we don't have a word in Paiute for goodbye. So I'm just gonna say Awasanua Buniwe because I'll see you guys later. I know I will.
Thanks for that, Christian. All right. Last caller space. I see you.
I will
Michaela.
also say thank you. Oh gosh, where's my voice? My allergies are acting up this week. I also want to say thank you on behalf of DHS and DFACS and the SNAP-Ed for the state agency. Thank you guys so much for your hard work and dedication, especially all that have been here for 3 years since we started and watched us grow and evolve. This has been my baby, me and Mitria's baby over the past 3 years. It's been a labor of love. But really, I don't want y'all to think that all of the feedback that has been given to us, that you guys have provided to us, has been taken back to our implementing agencies, and they have incorporated most, if not all, of the feedback that you guys have incorporated into their everyday work. So you guys have made such a positive change over the past 3 years, and especially this year. Don't let the other groups know that. We like you guys. I didn't say that. But we really, really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your days, your very busy schedules every month to meet with us. It really does mean a lot, and your hard work and dedication is really appreciated. So that's all I want to say.
Nice. Thank you, Michaela. Appreciate you. And I'll give one final shout out, which is your last cue if you have something to add to come off mute. For those of you that don't know, Michaela is your advocate in the state. And I really just want to appreciate her, because as much as you guys are not holding your punches and bringing the hard questions, she is the one that's elevating those questions. She is the one that is communicating the changes that need to happen. She is the one that is standing behind and saying, our community members say this, that, and the other. And so without that advocate at Georgia State, the work that you guys are doing, Lord knows what would happen with it. So it's carried forward because Michaela is really dedicated to this work. And so, Michaela, thank you for your contribution as well, sweetie. That doesn't go under. Soledad, you're off mute.
I just want, oh,
Come on.
sorry.
No, come on.
No, I just want to say something real quick. And Mikhail, I forgot you with you said Georgia State? Is that what you said?
DHS DFACS.
Oh, GHS. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Because I was okay. I'm an alum at Georgia State. I was in the School
Okay.
of Public
Yeah.
Health. But I just say maraming salamat po inyong lahat. That's just thank you to everybody. I appreciate everyone. I had a quick housekeeping thing. I'm sorry, my brain is not working well this week. As you see, my cell phone just died on me, so I have no access to anything. I'm trying not to freak out. Um, the compensation, I can't remember if that was a direct deposit, or is that a hard copy check? Because it's been a while since we started this program, so I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah.
So that's what I
Um,
and now that
yeah.
my phone's not working, I'm like, well, even if it comes through, I won't be able to find it.
Yeah. I'll go over that in our next steps after
Gotcha.
the state updates. But I do have an update for that for you guys today.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. If there's no other closing thoughts for the reflections and appreciations, we can come back to the slide deck and walk through our last kind of closing comments. Get it. State updates first. Sorry.
Yes. So, I know I gave like some quick updates at our last meeting about the SNAP Nutrition Education Program. I do just want to make y'all aware that the federal funding for our program is uncertain for SNAP Nutrition Education, or SNAP-Ed as you guys know it. If funding is available for the Community Advisory Board or a similar program, such as a community champions advocacy type of work, if that is available for next federal fiscal year, just as a reminder, we operate on federal fiscal year, so October 1st to September 30th. So FY26 would be starting October 1. If there is funding available, for that funding period, There will be a question at the end of the survey that you guys are about to get, that will ask if you would be interested in being contacted about that work. Everything is up in the air right now, but it would be something similar to this. Not exactly the cab, but that's all I can say for now. So if you are interested, if you liked being a part of the cab, please make sure that you check yes, that you would like to be contacted, if we were to be able to do some work like that, for next federal fiscal year. So, but again, funding is uncertain, so can't say anything is in stone as of right now. So that's it. Thank you.
I'm talking to myself. Was muted. Awesome. Thank you, Michaela. I really appreciate it. So next steps, just like Michaela said, this is our end of year survey for the cab. So if you'd like to scan the QR code on the screen to pull that survey up, you are more than welcome to. I will also be dropping this link in the chat for you guys to complete this. I have the due date for September 19th. So that way we have some time to flesh out a report for you guys before the end of the federal fiscal year. And I do see Miriam's comment. Yes, I can do a follow-up email with the recording and share this link in it as well. And I'll make sure we do that once I get this uploaded to YouTube. So this is it. Just want to give you guys a second. If you want to scan or tap the link, go for it. But it's like, all the other surveys we do, fill it out, give us your feedback. We want to know how the year went for you. Let us know how, things went. I would say what we could change, but like this is the last meeting. It's kind of surreal for me, guys, that this is like, it's setting in for me that this is the last meeting that we're having with you guys. But hopefully something comes of that Community Champions that kind of gives me some hope. And then as Soledad was asking, just a quick update on your reimbursements. So PHI, CWN, we have processed your reimbursements. They are no longer in my wheelhouse. They have been sent off to PHI Central, where they will be processed and checks will be mailed to you. If you haven't received your check by September 12th in the mail, please reach out to me so I can check and reach out to Payments at Central and make sure that they've issued your payment before September 30th. It's really important that we have your payment issued before September 30th because that's the cutoff for the federal fiscal year. So I really want to get you all taken care of. Mitria is raising her hand. Go ahead.
Sorry, Christian, just a suggestion. And yes, please, independently, if you guys don't receive anything, reach out to Christian. But also, Christian, maybe can we just set up an automatic email to go out around that time to remind them? Because out of sight, out of mind. Just a different year with the funding ending. Sometimes we've had members come back after the end date and we're able to work some things out. This is not that year. We want to make sure if you do not get your check, you elevate it as soon as possible so that we can make sure that we fix it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's just send out a reminder.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Look for a reminder email from me next Friday because I will be on travel the following week of September. So look out for an email from me. September 12th, I will be back in office. So I'll have regular access to my email, but I'll be at a conference doing a presentation for another project that week of the 8th through the 12th. So if I'm kind of hard to get a hold of, that's why. But definitely let me know because that gives me enough time to reach out to PHI and make sure that reimbursement is issued to you in a timely manner. So that's kind of where we're at. Is there any other questions? I know Sully had a question. Did anybody else? Okay. I want to get y'all paid. Your work is valuable to me and to us. So we got to get you that money. So yeah, this is it. Farewell, Wasanu. I will miss you guys dearly. But again, don't be afraid to email me because I'll still be on email. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. I'll just jump in there and just echo that. Don't be a stranger, and keep up the great work.
Yeah. Keep up. You guys are amazing. Yeah, keep it up. Keep being fighters. And as always, you can stay connected via the Google Drive. I will not be updating this after September 30th. This will only be the only Google Drive link that we have. And then, we'll have the August meeting recording uploaded soon. And this was our final meeting today. Here's our emails, myself and Michaela. If you'd like to stay connected to us, please do, especially with those reimbursements and things coming up. And Michaela will be in contact with any updates, I'm sure. Oh, I see a hand, Joanna. Go ahead.
Yes, on the survey, it says if you would like to be contacted. It doesn't show like who filled out the survey, or do you all know, or I'm just wondering.
Did you put your name in there, Joanna?
It
Yes.
didn't have a space for me to put my name.
Okay. Would you like to be contacted? Just so that
Yes.
way I can make a mental note. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and mark yes, and I'll make sure to kind of start a list for Michaela. Nobody's names. Okay, nobody take the survey because we need your names. Everybody stop. I didn't know that the names wasn't on there. So everybody pause. I will update that survey, reprogram it to take your names. So that way if you do want to be contacted for community champions, we will be able to get your information where it needs to go. So thank you, Joanna, for pointing that out. Okay, thank
Can
you,
I ask
Miriam.
a suggestion? I'm sorry, folks, and I apologize. We will include these instructions in the follow-up email. Your names are not on the survey, and purposeful, because we really want you to be able to share honest feedback without like the connection of, oh, I didn't give a positive feedback and it's connected to my name. So if you would like to be contacted for the future, can you please send Christian an email with your name and we'll put you on a list. We're not going to change the survey. Please complete the survey as it is. And if you would like to be contacted in the future, just send an email to Christian saying, please include me on the future list, possibly, and we will make sure that that list is communicated. Does that sound like it works for everyone? All right, sorry for the confusion, but we want to remain anonymous on the survey, so no change.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, wait a second. I think this one is anonymous, but yeah, let me know. And I'll add you guys to that list and get your info to Michaela.
And when we send the follow-up email with like all the information like we do after every meeting, we'll make sure that Christian puts in that body of that email if you're interested. So if you want to just sit and sleep on it and think about it, that's totally fine as well. So once Christian sends out the follow-up email after this meeting, she'll make sure to put that in the body of the email. And that way it's just a nice little reminder for you guys too.
Perfect.
Thank you, Miriam.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you, guys.
So yeah, here's how you stay connected to Michaela and I. Don't forget about us. We'll miss you guys. And thank you. We appreciate you guys so much. We can set you all free now if you'd like.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Have a
Awesome.
good evening.